The commencement ceremony for the UCLA College of Letters and Sciences will begin in just a few moments. Graduates and guests, please begin to take your seats. Thank you.
Will the official party please be seated? It is my honor to welcome you to UCLA's Commencement Weekend. My name is Yogita Goyal, and I'm a professor of African American Studies and English. It is my pleasure to serve as the College Marshal for this ceremony. Before we begin, I would like to introduce a member of the class of 2023, Desiree Barragan. Desiree is graduating with a double major in Human Biology and Society and American Indian Studies, and she will acknowledge our presence on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Gabrielino Tongva peoples.
Meiha, Awishkuneha, Ekwa Ha Netwanya Ne Desiree Barragan. Hello everyone, my name is Desiree Barragan and I am an enrolled member of the Gabrielino Band of Mission Indians of Southern California. I am also the daughter of Edgar and Lorinda Barragan. I introduce myself today in the Gabrielino language. Using my traditional language serves as an opportunity to amplify the continued existence of the Gabrielino peoples amongst the Los Angeles greater community. Our contributions to society are acknowledged here at UCLA every day. As we continue to walk campus, it's important to recognize that UCLA occupies the land of the Gabrielino peoples, and they are the caretakers of the Los Angeles Greater Basin and Southern Channel Islands. As a land-grant institution, we pay our respects to the Havikatam, our ancestors, Ahiharom, our elders, and Iohinkam, our relatives, relations, past, present, and emerging. I have the personal privilege of studying on my tribal homelands, and this is a place where I have a special connection to. With UCLA's 104 years history, I am the first and only Gabrielino student to attend UCLA. I will be receiving a Bachelor's of Science in Human Biology and Society and a Bachelor's of Arts in American Indian Studies. Westwood and the Los Angeles County are located on the cultural and historically unceded Gabrielino land. This is a land where we live, where we study, where we work, and this is where we raise our families. We must recognize, respect, and fully support the current efforts of the Gabrielino peoples and help revitalize and continue the traditions and culture, as we also continue to deepen our engagement with all Indigenous peoples. I have been raised to acknowledge the native lands that I occupy, whether it's here in Los Angeles on Gabrielino territory or across Turtle Island. I have the responsibility as a steward and protector of the lands I occupy, inherently as an Indigenous woman. I encourage everyone to research, to support all of the local Indigenous communities around you when you go back home and when you travel across the globe. Thank you immensely for providing me the opportunity to raise awareness of Native peoples and their continued contributions to society. Together, we can move forward in solidarity, amplifying Native voices, learning about the lands we occupy, and this milestone that we are celebrating today is one that deserves a major congratulations. Class of 2023, be proud and be unapologetically yourself. Awishkuneha. Thank you.
Thank you, Desiree. As we celebrate the achievements of our graduating class of 2023, on our minds are the relentless challenges the last few years have posed for everyone, but especially for college students, who had to reckon with shifting modes of instruction, dashed expectations about life on campus, and a slow and fitful return to pre-pandemic life, amid what has seemed like an endless parade of crises and catastrophes. I know I speak for my colleagues when I say that I am in awe of how much resilience, wit, and grace our students have displayed in tackling all the challenges thrown their way. And so today, it is especially momentous that we come together in person to celebrate you alongside your family members and friends. You have not only satisfied rigorous requirements for your degrees, you have also absorbed new ways of looking at the world, of understanding your place in it, and thinking critically about its challenges. Now more than ever, those skills are needed. In a moment in history that often seems uniquely demanding, we hope that a college education will allow you not just to make sense of, but perhaps remake the world around us. And as we congratulate you on your many impressive achievements and triumphs, we also celebrate the patience, sacrifice, and support of your loved ones. We are grateful that you trusted UCLA would provide the graduates with the kind of community, a challenging, stimulating, and nurturing one, that would help them discover the best in themselves. It has been our privilege to mentor these stellar young people throughout their efforts. Please join me in congratulating our graduates on their many accomplishments as we celebrate the ambition, curiosity, hard work, friendships, and exuberance that have sustained them at UCLA. Singing the national anthem this morning is True Gerald's. True is graduating today with degrees in physiological science and Spanish. Everyone, please rise for the singing of the national anthem and welcome True.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, True. Now I am pleased to introduce the Senior Dean of the College and Dean of Physical Sciences, Miguel Garcia Garibay.
Hello, UCLA graduates. What a beautiful day, isn't it? On behalf of the Dean's faculty and honored guests who join me on this stage, I welcome you and your family to the commencement ceremony for the College of Letters and Science. I would also like to thank Professor Goyal for welcoming us, greeting us this morning. Graduates, this is a day to acknowledge your achievements and to celebrate the culmination of your undergraduate studies. You have met the highest challenges in education. You have been partners with faculty in our quest to learn and discover. You will be the next generation of leaders in your fields of pursuit. Class of 2023, your academic journey has led you here to this historic moment in time, which actually will never happen again, because today, together, we look to a bright future. Graduates, joining us here today are many special people who stood by you through your years at UCLA, your families and friends. I would like to ask the parents, the partners, the friends, and the family members of our graduates to stand. We want to thank you for all the support that you've given to your graduates. Thank you. Now I am pleased to welcome the Chancellor of UCLA. In his 15 years as Chief Executive of the campus, he has worked to strengthen the university's academic excellence, build our campus diversity, and inspire a new level of civil engagement within the UCLA family. Please welcome the Chancellor of UCLA, Jean Block.
Graduates, families, friends, guests, and our distinguished speaker, welcome to UCLA, the nation's #1 public university. So as UCLA's Chancellor, it's my great honor to preside over this celebration. For today, we pay tribute to the exceptional, sensational, unshakable UCLA class of 2023. Congratulations. And truly, this day belongs to you, and I hope you feel really a keen sense of accomplishment. But no one reaches this day on their own. And again, another round of applause for all the folks that made it possible for you to be here. Really, all this event. So today's event, as you know, is described with two different words. So we use the words graduation, this is graduation, and commencement. And those two words show us the dual nature of this celebration. The first, graduation, frames the ceremony as a capstone of culminating experience. It asks us to look back in time and reflect upon where we've been during this course of our journey. Graduates, you might think that looking back, you've had joyous moments, which you've had. And I suspect the first one was when you were admitted to UCLA, which seems today to be a rarer and rarer act, unfortunately, with the number of applicants we have. So certainly you look back at that great accomplishment. But there's been so much more since that. You're beyond your offer of admission, your first tentative steps on campus, your initial meeting of your roommates, perhaps some goodwill, and maybe a bit of awkwardness in that process. You might think back at the English class you took on a whim that sparked your love of modernist poetry, or how your time in the robotics club inspired you to dive deeply into kinetics and kinematics. You've had an enormous number of experiences here at UCLA. And you might recall that late night discussion with a friend that transformed the way you look at an issue. Quite possible those discussions were really illuminating to you. And many of you participated, and perhaps all of you, in the 8 Clap and the great athletic events that we see in this wonderful place that represents that Pauley Pavilion. So there's been a lot of great experiences. You may also think about a particularly momentous occasion when you were in the sculpture garden on a warm summer evening when the light was fading and the jacarandas were in bloom. It's just one of the most beautiful places in the country when you're there. So I'm sure all of you have had magical moments on campus, but I recognize that your experience at UCLA is marked by so much more. You saw a world wrenched apart because of the COVID pandemic. That certainly was a profound influence on all of our lives. You may have felt whiplash from moving back with your parents, turning on the kitchen table into a classroom, taking up your new role as a caregiver, or grappling with the feelings of isolation and fear. I mean, your class was really exceptional in what you had to deal with in the last several years. Beyond the pandemic, your experience at UCLA was also set against the backdrop of historic events, including a hugely polarizing U.S. presidential election, brazen siege of the Capitol building, a powerful women's rights movement in Iran, and troubling invasion of Ukraine, and many other events that were challenging. In the wake of George Floyd's killing in Minneapolis, you witnessed an upswell in attention to long-standing issues of racial injustice. And here in California, and especially in California, you saw the effect of climate disasters like wildfires and excessive heat. You also saw pronounced economic growth, which we all enjoyed, coupled by now a period of significant economic contraction. So you've been through both the upside and the downside of an economy. You've witnessed the emergence of ChatGPT. I'm not sure you should applaud on that one. And the first stirrings of a massive social reckoning with the power of AI technology. It will transform our lives, but we obviously are going to be aware of the great challenges there. All of these experiences have shaped your time at UCLA, affecting the decisions you made with regard to coursework, pastimes, and your burgeoning careers. Ultimately, these experiences also shaped you. They etched on you resilience, adaptability. They gave you a greater respect for science and truth, and the recognition of the dangers of misinformation. They reinforced the need to fight for this planet's future and asked you to approach new technology with thoughtfulness and care. Thoughtfulness and care. Right? And even as they stirred up anguish, they endowed you with compassion and empathy, as well as a commitment to justice and the greater good. So I mentioned that today's event goes by the name Commencement, as well as the name Graduation. And while graduation asks us to look back at where we've been, the term Commencement invites you to look forward on where you're going. Members of the class of 2023, the world is certainly full of intractable problems, and I just named a few, problems that are deeply rooted, that have many dimensions, and span national borders. But crises are also moments of immense possibility, when the traditional order can be shifted and when new thinking can be applied to old problems. So it's a dynamic, volatile time where you can have much more impact. And shaped by your experiences, your commitment to the common interest, and by your UCLA degree, soon to be bestowed, you will be incredibly well positioned to enact change. And I have full faith that all of you will do that. You are the newest members also of the UCLA Alumni Association. Congratulations, soon. And through this network, you'll find like-minded peers, free classes to continue your education, and all kinds of resources to help throughout your lives. You'll be connected forever to the Bruin family, and please take advantage of those connections. They'll be helpful in myriad ways. I also invite you to this historic era in which we live. It's a chance to rebuild anew. We really, as I said, have a chance to really do something new. Bruins are nothing if not marked by optimism, and it is in our DNA to look at the world and see it as ripe for constant reshaping. So graduates, once again, let me offer you my deepest gratitude and my best wishes. You really are a fantastic class. I hope the education you received here will serve you well, and I hope you use that not just to benefit yourselves, which it should, but also to benefit larger society. So congratulations to the class of 2023. I wish you much success, and go Bruins. Thank you.
Thank you, Chancellor Block. My name is Adriana Galvan. I'm the Dean of Undergraduate Education. My fellow deans and I are honored to acknowledge the students who graduate today with this very special academic achievement. I would like to recognize the students who are graduating with one of the highest academic awards the College of Letters and Science can offer to an undergraduate, the designation of College Honors. The extraordinary students who are graduating with College Honors have completed outstanding work in their major and also a special set of rigorous courses. Of the thousands of students who are graduating from UCLA this year, nearly 500 are receiving College Honors. Will the students who are graduating with College Honors please stand? Thank you. Please be seated. Dean Johnson will recognize the service in the community.
graduates. My name is Tracy Johnson, and I'm the Dean of Life Sciences. I am pleased to recognize our many students who are involved in projects in the community. They accomplish this work through campus programs that bring together civic involvement with academic courses. Would all of the graduating seniors who served in the community please stand? Thank you. Dean Valenzuela will recognize the Chancellor's Service Award recipients.
Graduates, I am Abel Valenzuela, and I proudly serve as Interim Dean of Social Sciences. I am privileged to acknowledge the recipients of the 2023 Chancellor's Service Award. The Chancellor's Service Award is presented to students whose college careers have been distinguished by dedication to UCLA and the community. These students, 99 of them this year, have earned this distinction through sustained record of outstanding leadership and service. Will the students who have been honored as recipients of the Chancellor's Service Award please stand so that we can recognize your superb commitment? Thank you. Please be seated. Dean Stern will recognize those who have earned Latin honors.
Graduates, I am Alexandra Minna-Stern, Dean of Humanities. There we go. I would like to present our students who are receiving Latin honors, which is a recognition for high academic achievement. There are 3 levels of Latin honors. First, I would like to acknowledge our students who have received cum laude honors. Please stand and be recognized. Thank you. Please be seated. Next, I would like to honor our students who are graduating magna cum laude. Please stand and be recognized for your accomplishments. Thank you. Please be seated. Finally, let us honor the students who are graduating with the highest Latin honors, summa cum laude. Please stand and be recognized. Congratulations. Please be seated. Dean Garcia Garabay will recognize your effort in research.
Hello, graduates. I would like to recognize students who have participated in research while at UCLA. As you know, UCLA is one of the world's great research universities. More than half of our students enhance their academic careers by working alongside faculty on projects, writing an honors thesis, or participating in research classes. These students perform original research and advance the frontiers of knowledge. Would all the graduate seniors who participated in research please stand so we can recognize your achievements? Congratulations. Please be seated.
Thank you, Dean Garcia Garibay. Graduates, you've excelled in everything you put your mind to, from research to community service, from academic success to personal enrichment. You've spent your years at UCLA becoming well-rounded and ready to begin a new chapter. Your student speakers this morning embody many of your own successes. Faiza Arshad grew up in Fremont, California, and was drawn to UCLA for its collaborative education, diverse faculty, and action-oriented student groups that are empowering communities worldwide. She graduates today summa cum laude with a Bachelor of Arts degree in psychology. Faiza was a 4-year member of the Global Health Living Learning community, and at UCLA, she led multiple student groups that support well-being and educational accessibility. Please welcome Faiza.
Chancellor Block, esteemed faculty, honored guests, parents, siblings, and families, welcome. It is my greatest honor to deliver this commencement address today, celebrating the UCLA class of 2023. My favorite quote comes from author and advocate Helen Keller, who said, "Life is either a daring adventure or nothing. To keep our faces toward change and behave like free spirits in the presence of fate is strength undefeatable." Echoing her words, our purpose at UCLA was twofold. One, to freely discover our personal interests, and two, to become courageous changemakers. As the native-born daughter of Pakistani immigrants, I knew how lucky I was to receive an acceptance letter from one of the finest institutions in the world. I came to UCLA with little knowledge on navigating college, but eager to make the most of my experiences. I recognized my responsibility to elevate the voices of others, so I worked with peers to collectively co-found and lead an organization that is bridging gaps worldwide in higher education for refugees in conflict-affected regions, providing them with English and professional skills in the same way that my mentors supported me. To first-generation Bruins, and those who have triumphed in the face of adversity, I hope you are enormously proud and that your UCLA experience, like mine, has been very transformative and rewarding. Chief among my memories at UCLA are not the times that I cheered at sports games, gathered around the dinner table at B-Plate, climbed the grand steps leading to Royce Hall, or flipped the pages of the Daily Bruin, but rather it is the unequivocally eye-opening conversations I have had with peers within and outside classrooms. These moments of disruptive thinking reminded me that each one of us brings our own talents. We continue to be an asset to the UCLA community. In a world punctuated with uncertainty and divided by polarization, I urge you to use those talents and varied lenses to push for social justice, equity, and inclusion in all the spaces that you inhabit. As part of the College of Letters and Sciences and UCLA as a whole, we have acquired the scientific literacy and social awareness to be global changemakers. Some of us will go on to compute ecological models, explore biological and physiological processes, study the psychology behind human behavior, or find new avenues of pursuit. As you pioneer forward, remember that this community is rooting for you, and know that UCLA has equipped you with the excellence to bridge societal needs. In my last days at UCLA, I walked the halls of James West Alumni Center, thinking not only about what my legacy would be once I officially become an alumna, but the ways in which I hope to continue impacting this community. UCLA was our home. We committed ourselves to the highest standards. We persevered, adapted, and grew through unprecedented times and extraordinary losses, and ultimately, we learned to practice public service. I will undoubtedly always be proud to say I am a Bruin, and I'm filled with sincere gratitude and humility to have done it alongside you. Class of 2023, let's take a minute to appreciate all the people who have brought us this far. Let's carry our true Bruin values as we embark into this new beginning, and let's embody humanity and resilience as we uplift our communities. Thank you for being an integral part of my journey. Congratulations.
Thank you, Faiza. Our next speaker, Joyce Guo, was born to Taiwanese immigrant parents and hails from Cupertino, California. She graduates today summa cum laude with a Bachelor of Science degree in psychobiology. Joyce worked as a psychiatric medical assistant, served for 2 years as a resident assistant in Reber and Deneuve, and volunteered as a cognitive behavioral therapy coach and research assistant. Please welcome Joyce.
Greetings, Chancellor Block, the inspiring faculty, distinguished guests, friends, and families. And to the 2023 graduates we are honoring today, congratulations, we made it. I have never felt more privileged to be addressing our graduating class at the #1 public university. As a fair warning, I am an avid reader, so I will be borrowing quotes from my favorite authors. 1, it has been an axiom of mine that the little things are infinitely the most important. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. 4 years ago, I started my UCLA undergraduate career at the College Summer Institute, where I took my first chemistry class and felt overwhelmed. It was being in a new environment, meeting new friends, getting accustomed to walking up a really steep hill, and trying to find France Hall before my first midterm. I had never seen so many opportunities. Intramural sports, social and cultural organizations, a cappella groups, research, ASUCLA jobs, and so much more. 2, the human capacity for burden is like bamboo, far more flexible than you'd ever believe at first glance. Jodi Picoult. And then there was the COVID-19 pandemic. We addressed struggles with technology, logging onto Zoom, Wi-Fi connectivity issues, and the daily symptom monitoring survey. But that showed us we can overcome anything. No adversity will ever be too great for us. It is a privilege and a blessing to be a part of a community that can uplift itself through unprecedented times. 3, so long as we love, we serve. So long as we are loved by others, I would almost say that we are indispensable, and no person is useless while he has a friend. Robert Louis Stevenson. But there are personal endeavors, and mine is mentorship. At UCLA, I have been a learning assistant, a dance teacher, and a resident assistant. I became a resident assistant not just because I enjoy hosting events, but because of mentorship. I have mentored students in class planning, career planning, all types of planning. I have mediated countless roommate conflicts and counseled students in crisis. Through all of this, I became a better critical thinker, problem solver, and friend. But I wasn't always a mentor. 4, I've been maintained that thanks are the highest form of thought and that gratitude is happiness doubled by wonder. Gilbert C. Chesterton. There were people who mentored me first. When I think of the multiple facets through which UCLA offers mentorship to students, a few key people come to mind for me. I want to thank my TA from Psychology 100B, Jessica, for guiding me toward my career goal and for improving my writing skills. Thank you to my residential life supervisors, Ruben, Victoria, Jeff, and Curtis, for trusting me as a resident assistant and giving me advice on how to plan events and approach issues with residents. Thank you, Dr. Bittner and Max, for having me as a part of your research team at Stein I. And most importantly, thank you to my parents and close friends who make today the most special day. Five, trust your heart if the seas catch fire. Live by love though the stars walk backward. E.E. Cummings. To the 2023 graduates, I hope your experience at UCLA was just as extraordinary as mine. Congratulations again.
Thank you, Joyce. It's now my great pleasure to introduce today's distinguished speaker, the celebrated actor, writer, director, comedian, and UCLA alumnus, Randall Park. A Los Angeles native, born to Korean immigrant parents, Randall Park grew up with an interest in acting that deepened significantly when he attended UCLA in the mid-1990s. During his time on campus, he co-founded LAPU, the Coyote and Cares Theater Company, an Asian American theater organization that has endured for several decades and remains active today. He earned his bachelor's degree in English with a minor in Asian American Studies in 1997. After several years on LA's theater, film, and comedy circuit, Park achieved breakthrough success with acting roles on the sitcom The Office in 2012, in the film The Interview in 2013. Since then, he has become one of the most in-demand actors in Hollywood, praised for his versatile skill set and nuanced performances bridging comedy and drama. Notably, he played an endearing patriarch in the television show Fresh Off the Boat, which aired from 2015 to 2020. He has become a mainstay in the Marvel and DC cinematic universes, with roles in Ant-Man and the Wasp and Aquaman franchises, as well as a series, WandaVision. But there's more. He also co-wrote and starred in the 2019 romantic comedy film, Always Be My Maybe. That film received critical acclaim for its fresh take on the genre and its Asian American representation. His feature-length directional debut, the film Shortcomings, competed in this year's Sundance Film Festival and comes out in theaters on August 4th. While Park's success in entertainment is well known, I want to note that he is a committed advocate for people with developmental disabilities. Park is helping to make accommodations for sensory needs available this year's commencement exercises through an organization called Culture City, where both he and his wife serve on the board of directors. Park has continued to stay deeply engaged with UCLA since his own graduation, serving as an alumni volunteer at UCLA's Unicamp, delivering the keynote address at the 2017 English Departmental Commencement, and even earning our Alumni Association 2016 Edward A. Dixon Alumnus of the Year Awards. So he has been an extraordinary participant on this campus. But there's more. I also want to acknowledge that his mother worked as an accountant here on campus for a full 3 decades. So this is a Bruin family. A captivating and boundary-breaking artist with a strong dedication to public service, Park is an exemplar of UCLA's excellence and UCLA's values. Please join me in welcoming today's distinguished speaker, Randall Park.
All right, thank you so much, and congratulations to the UCLA graduating class of 2023. Chancellor Block, deans, faculty, family, and friends, and graduates. It is a lifelong dream and a profound honor for you to have me here today. My name is Randall Park. As was mentioned in the introduction, I am a very successful actor. I am very talented, intelligent, charming, and humble. I am handsome, too. In fact, I'm a bit of a sex symbol. I say this not to brag to you, so much as to brag to myself. Because a few months back, when Dean Galvan reached out and invited me to be this year's distinguished speaker, my first thought was, why me? There are far more distinguished people in this world, more famous, successful, more desirable people. So I had to remind myself of my own greatness. I needed to remember that Randall Park is an international sex symbol. Yes, I spoke in the third person, and yes, I threw in the word international. As we must do every now and again, I had to hype myself up. And if any self-doubt lingered, I would use that as motivation to write the best damn commencement speech in the history of UCLA. I was inspired, so I began to write. And at lightning speed, with the help of ChatGPT, I finished my speech. It took me about 7 seconds. And here we are. Graduates, before I begin, I want you all to give a round of applause for your family and friends here today and throughout your life who helped you get to this glorious mountaintop. I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge my own family who helped me get to this day. My beautiful wife of 13 years, my best friend in the world, Jay. She stood by my side when I was broke and struggling. I wouldn't be here without you, and I love you with all of my heart. And to Caitlin, my beautiful mistress of 2 years. I asked you not to come here, but you did, so what could I do? Also to my incredible 11-year-old daughter, Ruby, my favorite human being in the world. Her hobbies include painting, making slime, and attempted arson. I would also like to acknowledge my amazing mom and dad who are no longer with us. Not because they passed away, but because they were here earlier, got bored, and left. I'm kidding, they're here. They're here. Hi, Mom and Dad. And to my brother Dan, Doris, my man Roan over there, all my family and friends, I love you and I appreciate you. But to all of you graduates, please know that from here on out, we are family. We are a Bruin family. And throughout this life, if you ever find yourself in a bind, I am extending an open invitation for you to DM me directly on social media, and I will do whatever I can to help you out. I say this because Bruin bonds are strong, and also because I am not on social media. Speaking of disappointment, this is the subject I want to talk to you about today. Disappointment is going to be a recurring character in your life moving forward. You will be disappointed, you will disappoint others, and you will disappoint yourself. Tonight, many of you will be very drunk. And it's true. And a good percentage of you will commit a crime. My guess is about half of you. You will end up in jail desperately trying to DM me on social media to bail you out. One of your best days will turn into one of your worst, and you will momentarily lose sight of the fact that there is tomorrow. But you're already familiar with this process. Your time at UCLA has been fraught with disappointment. You've endured the catastrophe of a worldwide pandemic. You made it through a period of our history that continues to be rife with division, flagrant mendacity, and even war. And you mourned. In fact, we all mourned. None of us will ever get over the untimely death of Powell Cat, our feline friend, a true source of campus joy. Yes, you've made it through a lot, yet somehow you got here. Here's a quote. The most exquisite rose in a garden started with but two things: a single seed and a big old pile of stinky cow shit. That's from Mother Teresa. This is according to ChatGPT. Here's the thing about disappointment. You may not realize it at the time, but after the sting of every setback, the heartache of every defeat, you will be left with but two options: to hold on to it and become bitter, or to grow from it and become better, stronger, smarter, more compassionate, more inspired. And sometimes just on the other side of disappointment, you will find a great blessing. Now, I'm going to tell you 3 stories from my life on this topic. Here's the first one. I decided to pursue a professional acting career in my later 20s. I had been putting it off throughout my adult life because, frankly, I was scared of failure. But I finally gave in to my passion, and for well over that first decade, all I did was fail. Into my 30s, I was still living with my parents, broke, disillusioned, at times deeply depressed. My love life was in shambles. For some reason, women did not want to make out with a 32-year-old unemployed actor whose father just farted in the next room. But then in 2013, I booked my first lead role in a major studio motion picture. That movie was called The Interview, and the role was that of North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un. Now, at the time, I wasn't sure if it was the best idea to play a real-life dictator, but then I thought about it and said to myself, what's the worst that could happen? Besides, the script was incisive and funny, and for me, it was an opportunity to finally show people what I could do. I was ready, and all I needed was a shot. After production wrapped, I was on a high, mostly from marijuana, but also emotionally. Before the movie was even released, word of my performance began to spread throughout the industry. Even the head of the studio pulled me aside and said, that performance is going to change your life. I was feeling more confident than ever. I started working more, and for the first time in my career, I got a straight offer for a role on a TV pilot that I never would have gotten had it not been for my rising stock in the industry. Then, just before the movie's release, as some of you may remember, all hell broke loose. North Korea made terrorist threats against any theater that would premiere The Interview. Sony Studios' internal infrastructure got hacked, and the entire entertainment industry was rocked to its core. The 24-hour news cycle speculated on possible nuclear retaliation. In fear for our lives, the studio set up around-the-clock security guards in front of our tiny home in Valley Village. It was insanity. Soon enough, every major cinema chain pulled The Interview from their theaters. My one shot at big-time success was foiled by the real-life Kim Jong-un. While the movie did end up coming out online and in a few independent theaters, the whole thing was overshadowed by the controversy surrounding it. It sucked, and I felt terrible. But eventually I got up, dusted myself off, and I moved forward. Then the completely unexpected happened. To my surprise, that little TV pilot I did got picked up to series. Fresh Off the Boat became the first Asian family on network television in over 20 years. It became a hit for ABC and would go on for 6 amazing seasons. That show not only changed my life, but I like to think that it helped change the industry, ushering us into this great renaissance of Asian American stories being told today. And for me, it never would have happened without the interview. All right, here's another story. I've been lucky enough to be in the Marvel universe where I play a character named Agent Jimmy Woo. Thank you. In 2021, Jimmy Woo was a part of the first Marvel Studios series on Disney Plus called WandaVision. The show was wildly creative, immensely popular, and my character was so beloved that just last year, Marvel Legends released the Jimmy Woo action figure in my likeness. I was thrilled. I always wondered what it would be like to have my own action figure, and somehow this whimsical fancy had come to fruition. But then just a few weeks ago, and this is a true story, I was at a Best Buy, and I wandered into an aisle of wall-to-wall Jimmy Woo action figures on clearance sale. Nothing humbles you like seeing an endless legion of your own face staring right back at you from a bargain bin. Needless to say, I got the hell out of that Best Buy. That's the end of that story. Not all of these end happy. Here's my final story. In 2008, I met the most beautiful woman I had ever seen. Her name was Jay. I asked her out on a date, and for some reason, she said yes. Then, a year later, I asked Jay to marry me, and again, for some reason, she said yes. We got married, and then in 2011, we found out that we were going to have a baby. Initially, it was a shock for me. I had completely forgotten that such a thing could happen from unprotected sex. But it happened. And after briefly considering making a run for it, I started to get really excited. I was going to be a dad. All I could ask for was a healthy baby, but deep down my dream was for us to have a girl. I knew in my heart that I would make an amazing girl dad and a not-so-good boy dad. If you see me throw a football, you will understand what I'm talking about. Then on May 17th of 2012, my wish came true when a beautiful, healthy baby girl was born. We named her Ruby Louise Park. Seeing Ruby come out of her mother might have been the most horrific thing I had ever seen. I screamed at the top of my lungs, "Put it back in!" But thankfully, the doctor didn't listen. Because when I held that tiny girl in my arms, I fell in love. Our family was now 3. Our new chapter had begun. In the years that followed, Ruby was initially reaching all of her developmental milestones. But then we noticed her beginning to fall behind. Small patterns of behavior that were atypical of most children her age began to emerge. She was easily distracted and extremely sensitive to certain sounds and environments. At school, she seemed to have no interest in making friends. While other kids were beginning to delight in conversation, Ruby's verbal communication was limited to 1 or 2 words at a time. Something was off. We took Ruby to a doctor who sent us to a developmental pediatrician, and after months of testing and retesting, we were given the news. Ruby is on the autism spectrum. I was devastated. My first reaction was, how do we fix this? What can we do to make her better, to get her ready for this complex and oftentimes cruel world? For me, it was also a crisis of identity. I saw myself as a girl dad, but not the father of a child with a neurodevelopmental disorder. I became obsessed with researching all the different therapies, diets, medications, and emerging technologies, diving headfirst into a vortex of information, misinformation, wild conjecture, and toxic debate. I was at my wit's end, with no idea of what the future would look like. Today, Ruby is 11 years old. She is on the autism spectrum, and I wouldn't change a thing about her. She is beautiful. She is beautiful and strong like her mom, silly and gassy like her dad. She's creative, hilarious, and she loves to laugh. She is our pride and joy. Ruby has taught me so much about life, about compassion, and about how deep and meaningful communication isn't just about the words we say. It's also about energy and action, time and attention, and the subtle, silent, everyday expressions of an unconditional love. I used to think that she needed to be fixed in order to fit into this messed up world, but now I see it differently. It's the world that needs to do better, be kinder, be more inclusive. Ruby inspires me every day to do my part, and looking out at you shining graduates here today, I am confident that she and this world are going to be just fine. All right, now for the obligatory section where I give you some life advice. Here we go. If you're dating someone and you know it's not going to work, end the relationship. Okay? Don't string them along. Don't ghost them. Certainly don't zombie them, which is when you ghost them and then months later you come back from the dead. And do not by any means werewolf them. That's when you show up one random night with longer hair, swearing that you've changed. And then when you get rejected, you howl at the moon and take a dump on their lawn. Do not do that. If you're doing laundry in an apartment complex, time it out so that you can remove your clothes as soon as it's done. As opposed to leaving it sitting in the machine all day for the next person to wonder if it's okay to touch your nasty, ratty underwear. If you find yourself anonymously trolling an innocent someone on the internet, stop and ask yourself, why am I so miserable? And what actionable steps can I take to fix it? If you retrofitted your car or a motorcycle with one of those super loud exhaust pipes, again, ask yourself, why am I so miserable? And what actionable steps can I take to fix it? There are children like my daughter who are very sensitive to loud noises. Also, we aren't looking at you because we think you're cool. We are turning to look because we're startled and because we think you're being ridiculous. I guess all of this is to say, let's try to be kinder and more considerate of one another. It's a tough thing to be in this very broken world and in this internet age where the algorithm was seemingly designed to keep us on edge. But I believe that treating others with kindness, especially when there's nothing personal to gain from it, is a small, simple, and effective way of making the world a better place. But it all starts with being kind to yourself, taking care of your mental, emotional, and physical health, cultivating your joy, and protecting your sense of humor at all costs. And yes. And during any moments of self-doubt, take personal stock. Remind yourself that you are a UCLA Bruin. This school is impossible to get into, and you graduated from it. You are already, yes. You are already, right now, incredibly accomplished. You are intelligent, talented, charming, and humble. You are an international sex symbol. All right, I have one last story before I go. Now, this story takes place in the year 2074. I'm 100 years old, and I'm on my deathbed. I'm in my bedroom, surrounded by my loved ones, my wife, Jay, who is just as beautiful as the day we met, my daughter, Ruby, who is now the first AAPI neurodiverse female president of the United States, and all of you, my Bruin family, are there with me. I have a very big bedroom. I lived a great life. I achieved many accolades. I won many awards. I finally learned how to throw a football. And I'm happy to report that the original Jimmy Woo action figure recently sold at auction for a record-breaking $17 billion. But I'm not thinking about any of my achievements, nor am I dwelling on any of my disappointments. I am simply at peace, for I know what it likes to love and be loved. I see a blinding light, and I transition to the other side, where I'm greeted by all my family and friends who have passed. I see Mother Teresa. Hey, Mother Teresa. And oh my God, there's Powell Cat. I'm so happy to be with them all, there with them all, but I do have one question. Why is it so hot in here? I'll tell you why, says Powell Cat. Oh shit, you can talk. Yes, in the afterlife, cats can talk. Anyway, Randall, it's hot because you're in hell. But I'm confused. I mean, I know I'm garbage, but Mother Teresa, shouldn't you be in heaven? She responds, I tried, Randall, but that place is just as hard to get into as UCLA. For a moment, I am disappointed, devastated, actually. I wasn't prepared for an afterlife and eternal damnation. But then I look up and I see all these beautiful people and animal in front of me. And just past that sinking feeling of devastation, I find a seed of inspiration, of hope for a better tomorrow. So I roll up my sleeves and I offer this. Why don't we all band together and every day put in the work to turn this hell into a heaven? To which Mother Teresa will smile and respond, fuck yeah. UCLA's graduating class of 2023, I want you all to go out there and do the same. Thank you.
Thank you, Randall. That was incredible. Now it is my honor to present the candidates for the conferral of their degrees. I will call on the deans of the college to present the bachelor's candidates to Chancellor Block. Presenting the candidates for the bachelor's degrees in the Division of Physical Sciences is Dean Miguel Garcia Garibay.
Thank you, Adriana. Will the candidates for the degrees of Bachelor of Science and Bachelor of Arts in the Division of Physical Sciences please raise and remain standing? You have learned about the great challenges of our time, deep questions about the nature of our universe, about our origins, above all, about our future in the world in which we live. For instance, climate change lies in the domain of our students in atmospheric and oceanic sciences, earth, planetary, and space sciences, and the Institute of the Environment and Sustainability. Now, the discovery of compounds that cure diseases and that lead to the sustainable generation of energy will be the world of our graduates in chemistry and biochemistry. The investigation into the structure and deep history of the universe, as well as the possibility of other life in the cosmos, will be pioneered by our physics and astronomy graduates. Now, our graduates in mathematics, statistics and data science, and data theory, they will pioneer the mastery of the flood of data that we must process in order to understand and manage an even more complex world. Did I mention that graduates in physical sciences can be very loud when they get to celebrate the name of their major? Well, let's take a listen. We celebrate the physical sciences today because all of the science and technology that help us explore the universe, sustain our planet, create new technologies, and improve our lives will be addressed by you, our graduates in, be loud, atmospheric and oceanic sciences, earth, planetary, and space sciences, Good. Statistics and data science. All right. Environmental science. How about physics and astronomy? This is going to be a good one. Mathematics. And chemistry and biochemistry. Physical sciences graduates, you all live here with a deep fund of knowledge in the science underlying what we know about our world. You also carry with you finely honed skills in reasoning and analysis that will equip you to overcome the most daunting intellectual challenges that will be thrown your way. You are the cream of the crop. You have mastered the hard sciences. Chancellor Block, it is my honor to present to you the dedicated, inquisitive, analytical, gifted, super handsome, good-looking, and altogether stellar candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science and Bachelor of Arts in the Division of Physical Sciences.
Thank you, Miguel. Candidates from the Bachelors from the Physical Sciences, please be seated. Presenting the candidates for the bachelor's degree in the Division of Humanities is Dean Alexandra Mina Stern.
Thank you, Adriana. Will the candidates for the Bachelor of Arts degree in the Division of Humanities please rise and remain standing? When I think of you and look out at you today, I reflect that the greatest public research university in the land educates experts and seekers of knowledge of many kinds, and that among these, since UCLA's founding more than a century ago, there have always been experts in humankind. The young people who felt called to study the human legacy itself, the thought and language and literatures and arts that define our personal and social lives and our long cultural histories. Indeed, universities, since their earliest beginnings over a millennium ago, made a place for fundamental consideration of human value, of human meaning, of human improvement. And from this seed, the university grew and continues to grow, even as we humans have faced ever-renewed challenges and opportunities. Humanities graduates, what have you learned and what will you take with you from UCLA to teach others? You are graduates in philosophy and exacting caretakers of truth. Let us cheer the philosophers. You are linguists, scholars of language itself as a human faculty and a medium of communication. Let us cheer the linguists. You are art historians, keen observers of the image and its many uses. Let us cheer. You are scholars of religion and of how humans' deepest beliefs about the world shape their lives. Let us cheer. You are learners of difficult languages and sharp and independent mind readers of the literatures of the world. Literatures in, let me list them all, English, Asian languages and cultures, Near Eastern languages and cultures, comparative literature, classics, Spanish and Portuguese, Slavic, East European and Eurasian languages and cultures, and European languages and cultures. Let us cheer for all of the language learners. And many of you here have completed minors in digital humanities, in the study of religion, and in LGBTQ studies. Let us cheer for those as well. I hope that you've completed the coursework for your degrees with joy in learning and with a real drive to understand all that is human. But I know you're also aware of the very practical, very considerable powers that you have acquired. You are highly trained writers and speakers. You are readers and translators and interpreters of complex human situations, including situations of conflict. You are living encyclopedias, in addition to being international sex symbols of culture and spokespeople for the commitments held most dear by human beings. And you are critics, creators, free thinkers, fighters for justice, and continually self-correcting learners. And these are the powers that any workplace needs in the 21st century. Chancellor Block, I present to you the eloquent, cultured, thoughtful, resourceful, passionately humane candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts from the Division of Humanities.
Thank you, Alex. Candidates for the bachelor's degree for the humanities, please be seated. Presenting the candidates for the bachelor's degrees in the Division of Life Sciences is Dean Tracy Johnson.
Thank you, Adriana. Will the candidates for the degrees of Bachelor of Science and Bachelor of Arts in the Division of Life Sciences please rise and remain standing? I would like to start by congratulating you for all you've accomplished over these 4 truly extraordinary years. While this time has brought us some challenges, there have been extraordinary opportunities for growth and remarkable triumphs. To this end, it's important to take stock of what the disciplines in the sciences and the life sciences have accomplished. Accomplishments like research in psychology that has helped us understand and, yes, ameliorate the psychological stresses. Advances in computational and systems biology that have allowed us to see the sequence of a virus to single nucleotide resolution and understand its biology. And because of fundamental studies in immunology and molecular biology, we were poised to develop and distribute in record time life-saving treatments and protective vaccines. Advances in molecular genetics have made it possible for the first time to develop gene therapy to treat sickle cell disease and other devastating ailments. Yes, in this short time you have been students here at UCLA, disciplines in the life sciences have quite literally been at the center of addressing the most fundamental global challenges of a generation. But frankly, this isn't new. Life sciences disciplines have long been at the forefront of addressing the most fundamental and existential questions of our time. Questions like, what's the impact of human activity on the planet? And what can we do to mitigate negative effects? How do we prevent and cure life-threatening diseases? What is consciousness? How do we think? How do we learn? How do we live? How do we love? And how does that 3-pound organ inside our skulls affect all of this? At UCLA, to address these exciting biological questions, we offer a dozen majors in the life sciences, including computational and systems biology, ecology, behavior, and evolution, marine biology, all right, human biology and society, cognitive science, microbiology, immunology, and molecular genetics, molecular cell and developmental biology, physiology, neuroscience, psychobiology, biology, and psychology. As UCLA has just recently marked its first 100 years, you, our graduating Bruins in Life Sciences, will lead us into the next 100 years as our future leaders, doctors, scholars, research scientists, therapists, entrepreneurs, and global citizens. Chancellor Block, it is my honor to present to you the psychologically well-adjusted, neurologically well-connected, ecologically sensitive, evolutionarily complex, immunologically flexible, molecularly elegant, physiologically well-integrated, computationally sophisticated, and absolutely amazing candidates for the degrees of Bachelor's of Science and Bachelor of Arts in the Division of Life Sciences.
Thank you, Tracy. Candidates for the bachelor's degrees from the Life Sciences, please be seated. Presenting the candidates for the bachelor's degrees in the Division of Social Sciences is Dean Abel Valenzuela.
Thank you, Adriana. I will repeat. Will the candidates for the degrees of Bachelor of Science and Bachelor of Arts in the Division of Social Sciences, as you have done, rise and remain standing? You have earned this moment through hard work, long hours, and perseverance that you have shown. Each of you should be incredibly proud of what you have accomplished. Our motto in the social sciences is engaging Los Angeles, changing the world. And you are now positioned and expected to take what you have learned and to make your mark on this world. As social scientists, you will have the opportunity to have a seat at the table to help achieve the positive changes you want to see in the world. As social scientists, you will address economic, political, and social conditions in order to create more equity and opportunity in our public and private institutions. As social scientists, you will examine the roots of social and cultural conflicts to move us towards a more just and humane society. As social scientists, you will communicate across cultures and communities, forging enduring partnerships with people different from yourselves, whether from different neighborhoods, different cities, different states, or different nations. As social scientists from UCLA, you have learned from the faculty and departments that are among the best in the world, and you will be active agents for change in the construction of a better society. All of you in the social sciences, including those, and bear with me as I read, the numerous wonderful departments, beginning with geography, aerospace, military science, and naval science, Native American studies, communication, labor studies, anthropology, the department that our Keynote camp comes from, Asian American studies, gender studies, Chicano and Central American studies, history, sociology, African American studies, political science, and economics. You have learned to look at the world through a new lens of understanding. You have the research skills, the cultural insights, and community-oriented perspective to change the world. Today, we celebrate your achievements and the promise of a future that benefits from your leadership. You have reached this moment not despite the challenges you have faced, but because you faced those challenges with work, dedication, thoughtfulness, and hard work. Chancellor Block, I am honored to present to you the most socially engaged, research-savvy, service-oriented, culturally creative, interactionally skillful, intersubjectively attuned, around-the-clock inspired and inspiring, multilingual, multicultural, multi-everything you could ever think of, plus more. The candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science and Bachelor of Arts from the great, unique, awesome, breathtaking, tremendously splendid, impressive, and superb UCLA Division of Social Sciences. Congratulations, class of 2023.
Thank you, Abel. Candidates, please be seated. The candidates for the bachelor's degrees have now been presented. I call on Chancellor Block to confer the degrees of Bachelor of Science and Bachelor of Arts on the class of 2023. Will all of the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science and Bachelor of Arts please stand and remain standing?
Candidates for the bachelor degree, your presence here today demonstrates the rich reward of intelligence and perseverance. The UCLA community takes great pride in celebrating the achievements of the class of 2023. More than anything, I hope that your experience at UCLA has opened up some windows on the world and leaves you yearning to learn more. Your undergraduate experience is just the beginning of life, you know that, and continuing discovery will be for the rest of your life, but the skills you've acquired here, both inside and outside the classroom, hopefully will serve you well in this rapidly changing world. Now, the next statement I have to do very carefully because this is what confers the degree. If I get this wrong, and this makes me nervous, you'll be here next year, and there's a problem with that. In addition to a prestigious university, we're also the most applied to university in the United States. There's no room for you next year. So I'll be careful. So now, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the regents of the University of California, I hereby confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Science. Congratulations.
Graduates, let me congratulate all of us on becoming the newest alumni of UCLA as the class of 2023. Now we have one final tradition to observe. Before we received our degrees, we wore our tassels on the right side of our mortar boards. Now that our degrees have been conferred, it is time to move the tassel to the left and join the select company of UCLA graduates. Bachelors, turn your tassels.
To close commencement, please join in the singing of the alma mater, Hail to the Hills of Westwood, performed by Mila Moretti, Madison Chamberlain, Kevin Corrigan, and Leland Smith from the Herb Alpert School of Music.
To the hills of Westwood, to the mighty sea below. Hail to our alma mater, she will conquer every foe. For we're loyal to the Southland, her honor we'll uphold. We'll gladly give our hearts to thee, to the blue and to the gold.
Thank you, Mila, Madison, Kevin, and Leland. And to all of you, Thank you very much for joining us today. Congratulations to the class of 2023, and go Bruins!
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Please check around you to ensure you don't